All right, let's talk about one of the biggest stress points in anyone's academic life. That final push with all the exams, quizzes, and projects hitting you at once. But look, this isn't about just getting through it. We're going to build a really clear, simple plan to actually conquer it. So, let's dive in.
Does this feel familiar? Yeah, it's that sinking feeling you get when you look at your calendar and it just feels like this wall of work staring back at you. It's chaotic, it feels impossible, and honestly, you don't even know where to start.
But what if you could take all that chaos and turn it into clarity? Well, there's a really straightforward system that does exactly that. It's all about putting you back in control so you can work smarter, not just harder.
And we call this system the Difficulty First Blueprint. Seriously, think of it as your personal roadmap, from feeling totally overwhelmed to feeling prepared and, dare I say, even confident. Let's break down how it actually works. You know, most of us are taught to prioritize based on what's due the soonest, right? Well, the Difficulty First framework kind of flips that on its head. It starts by asking a totally different question. What's the hardest thing on my plate? By figuring out the challenge first, you can match your best brain power with your toughest tasks. It's a tiny shift in thinking, but trust me, it changes everything.
The entire foundation of this system is this incredibly simple scale. You're just going to rate every single little task from 1 to 5. 1 is for the super easy stuff, and 5? That's for the absolute beast tasks, the ones that drain your mental battery. This one little step is what brings order to everything else.
And this right here, this is the tool you're going to use. Think of it as your mission control. For every single exam or project, you'll jot down the due date, break it into smaller pieces, and then give each of those pieces a difficulty score. It's your whole game plan on one page. Now, to make this super easy to remember, just think of the 3 Ds. First, difficulty. You rank every task. Simple. Second, due dates. If you have 2 tasks with the same difficulty, the one that's due sooner wins. And third, deconstruction. You've got to break those big, scary projects into tiny, manageable steps.
Okay, so you get the core concept. Now let's walk through how this builds into a full-on 3-phase game plan that you can literally start using today.
So, phase 1 is all about the brain dump. Get everything out of your head and onto paper. List every exam, every project, and every due date. Then, and this is key, you deconstruct them. Study for physics is useless, but review Chapter 3 formulas, or do the practice problems for Chapter 6. Now those are real actionable steps you can check off. Next up, phase 2, prioritize. You're going to go through every single one of those small steps you just listed and give it a difficulty score. And here is the golden rule, the most important part of this whole thing. Tasks you rate a 5 get the highest priority, period. You schedule those first because you want to hit them when you've got the most mental energy. Okay, so when should you actually get this whole planning party started? The magic number is 14. You want to give yourself a full 2-week runway. And that brings us to phase 3, scheduling. That 2-week window is so important because this system is the enemy of last-minute cramming. This is about smart, strategic prep. So once your list is prioritized, you literally go into your calendar and block off time for each specific task. All right, so you've got your plan, but how do you actually follow it without completely burning out? Let's talk about some really smart tactics for mastering that calendar. And here is your next magic number, 2 hours. This is the absolute sweet spot for staying in deep focus without hitting that wall of mental exhaustion. The technique is sometimes called study chunking. Instead of just grinding away at one subject for 6 hours straight, you work on it for 2 hours, and then you switch. You rotate to something completely different. This forces different parts of your brain to light up, which is a total game changer for preventing burnout and keeping you sharp. So here's what a day could actually look like. You'd kick things off with a high-difficulty subject like physics first thing in the morning when you're fresh. Then a real break, no cheating. After that, switch gears to something different, like a history essay, before you stop for lunch. Then in the afternoon, maybe you hit another tough subject. See the pattern? The breaks and the subject changes are totally non-negotiable. Okay, I know what you're thinking. This is a great question. What about that huge research paper or that massive project that's going to take way, way more than just 1 2-hour block? Well, the answer is just more deconstruction. You take that massive project and you break it down into even tinier pieces. Research 5 sources, outline the introduction, write the first 2 pages. Then you schedule each of those many tasks into their own 2-hour blocks over a few days. That way you're making steady progress without ever feeling like you have to climb a mountain in one go. Okay, so we've covered the what, the why, and the how.
Let's pull this all together with a final checklist to really make sure these ideas stick with you.
This is basically your cheat sheet for the whole strategy. It's a great little reminder to identify everything you have to do, break it all down, and then rank the difficulty. And those tips at the bottom, that's the core of the system right there. Hit the hard stuff first, start 2 weeks early, and work in chunks.
So look, if you walk away with anything from this, let it be these 4 golden rules. Number 1, always tackle the hardest stuff first. Number 2, give yourself that 2-week head start. 3, study in 2-hour chunks and rotate your subjects. And 4, which is just as important as all the others, take real breaks.
And that's really the whole point, isn't it? This isn't about adding a bunch of complicated rules to your life. It's about giving you the tools to take back command. With a clear plan, you are in control of your time and your energy, not the other way around.
So, I'll leave you with this question to get you started. Take a minute and think about your own to-do list right now. What is that one task, that one subject, that one project that just screams difficulty 5? Go find it and make it the very first thing you block out time for on your calendar.